A child detained by ICE and sent now, as we're learning, to Texas to a deportation center or detention center with her mother. What do you make of this? You know, Governor Hochul has been able to put her foot down in similar places like upstate, and she was able to talk to Tom Homan about it. What do you make of this, and how can the governor possibly intercede on behalf of this child?
I think this is horrific. We are talking about a young girl who is currently languishing in a detention center while her 19-year-old brother is separated from her and her mother at a different center in New Jersey, all while their other members of their family are right here in New York City. I mean, the principal of this girl's school wrote a letter to ICE asking that they do not do this, not only because of what it will mean for that girl's life, but also for all of the lives of the children in her class. I mean, this is an attack on the fabric of our city, and it shows the level of cruelty to which the Trump administration is willing to stoop.
What can the governor do about this?
You know, I've appreciated the ways in which the governor has stood up time and again to the Trump administration's attack on this city, whether that pertains to immigration, whether it pertains to congestion pricing. And I think we continue to need leadership that is united in its belief to stand up for New Yorkers, because too often what we're seeing is people who are running to become the next mayor of the city thinking last of the people and first of themselves.
And is this one of those cases, again, where she should use her trump card with Tom Homan and really, because it was the family in Sackett's Harbor that she was able to bring back, should she maybe use that call and that line of communication she has with the Trump administration to bring this child and her family back together?
You know, I trust the governor in fighting for the people of New York, and I also trust the people of New York, because when you talk about Sackett's Harbor, we saw that more people than live in the town came out to protest that detention. And too often we have this idea as if the Trump administration has support across the city. What we can see is no matter what borough you go to, people are horrified by the actions of this admin.
So Cuomo was in the Hamptons. I'm going to read you quickly what he said. He said he was asked if he's been communicating with Donald Trump, and he said, look, let me put it this way. I know the president very well. I believe there will be opportunities to actually cooperate with him, and I also believe that he's not going to want to fight with me in New York if he can avoid it. What's your reaction?
You know, it is par for the course for Andrew Cuomo. First, he publicly denies the New York Times reporting of the fact that he had a conversation with President Trump about this race. And now, when he's behind closed doors at a fundraiser in the Hamptons, he is willing to reveal the fact that he has, in fact, been in that communication, and that there is a point of unity between him and the president, which is how to bring Republicans together to stop our candidacy.
What do you make of the anti-Trump tour that you were on last week? But you did get a lot of questions about Cuomo attacking you on rent stabilization, on, I don't think prostitution came up at that point, but it really became a you versus Cuomo tour.
I don't think there's much of a difference between me standing up against Donald Trump and me standing up against Andrew Cuomo. These are two people who are in coordination, two people who are more comfortable with Republicans than Democrats, and two people who are willing to put the people of New York City last as they pursue their own ambitions.
Lay out your position on decriminalizing sex work.
I have said time and time again that my focus is on the outcomes of public safety. And what we have seen is that we have a current mayor as well as a former governor who seem to care very little about the facts of things and about the future of the city, rather focusing on the discourse. And I've seen as well that when we had a previous administration, they showcased a far more humane approach to what would actually keep New Yorkers safe.
Yeah, how would that bill, it's the Salazar bill that you are also a co-sponsor of, how would that make it safer for women involved in the sex trade, and do you support legalizing sex work?
These are very distinct things, and what my focus is on achieving the agenda that I ran on, an agenda of affordability to ensure that the most expensive city in the United States of America is one that each and every New Yorker can afford. And part of what we're seeing is that not only has the mayor exacerbated that cost of living crisis, he has also done so through cuts to city services and the services of community-based organizations, including one that provides services to survivors of sex trafficking. These are the kinds of cuts that we would not make. These are the kinds of cuts that we would push back against, because what we need to do is ensure that we are taking care of the people of this city.
So what do you make of the critics who say, oh, it'll make it more unsafe for these women out on the streets?
What I would tell these critics, and they include Mayor Adams and Andrew Cuomo, is to look at what the policies that have been pursued over the last few years have actually left us with. If you speak to New Yorkers, you find that they feel the same levels of concern that they did years ago. And what we need is an approach that is focused on the outcomes, not on the theater of it all.
Adams vetoed on the delivery app workers. He vetoed a bill that the council pushed forward that would give an increase to wages for those who are delivery app workers. Should the council override that veto? And he said it would make it more expensive for consumers at the grocery stores. Do you agree with that?
I do not agree with that, and I think it's yet another example of Mayor Adams betraying working class New Yorkers, the very New Yorkers that he ran to represent 4 years ago. I mean, to override the council's move to increase wages and to then claim that that is somehow an act of standing against a cost of living crisis, it is indicative of a mayor who we cannot really make much sense of in many of these kinds of decisions. It's not the decision I would have taken.
What's your favorite cemetery to walk in?
It's a moving target.
How many have you walked in since you became the Democratic nominee?
I have been in about probably 6 or 7 cemeteries so far. They are all quite lovely, and I'm excited. There have now been many invitations to come to other cemeteries.
Have you been walking them before? And what's the attraction now? Is it peace of mind? Is it that you don't have people coming up to you? Last question.
I think it is the opportunity to walk outside, to think, to reflect. And it's mostly in the 10, 15, 20 minutes I might have between meetings to just have a moment to take in the city and to take in the challenge that we have.
What's the closest one to Astoria?
St. Mike's. Not too far.
What do you think? You listen to music?
No, you just walk, think.
Walk alone or do you walk with your bodyguards?
You have them at a little bit of a distance. But I'm pretty safe in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.